Tonight's topic is having the courage to be yourself. And when I was thinking about this topic, one basketball player came to mind. One of my favorite basketball players, Allen Iverson. Let's check a few AI clips out before we get into it. Mm, mm. Ooh, ooh. MJ. Mm, 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 mm. What? Oh, he gone. Where you at, man? Where he going? He going home. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, come back here, man. Up. Mm, Ah. Mm, mm. Oh, got him. Give me that. Oh, double team. See it got it. What? Mm. Boy, so quick, man. Mm, mm. Oh, boy, so quick. Yo. Mm, mm. Whoa, get up. Yeah. Back up. Give me that coat. Mm, bam, bam. Come back, come back, come back. Come. All right, that was some of the clips from AI. As you guys can see, AI had crazy handles. Crazy handles. I remember AI, man. AI had everybody wanting to be on some and one type stuff when I was in high school just because his handles were crazy. You see, he was breaking ankles left and right. Breaking ankles left and right. AI brought not only his game with him, but also a culture shift by being himself. Let's check a few interviews out with AI. Let's start with the big podcast with Shaq.
We are now welcoming in an 11-time All-Star, an NBA MVP, a Hall of Famer, one of the top 75 greatest players of all time. His crossover was so killer that if you fell victim, you might cross over. Sleeves, braids, an icon that is emulated to this day. His fierceness and mentality, with him, there was no play. He is the question. He is the answer. He is the reason so many of us wore number 3. Allen freaking Iverson.
Man, that was tough right there.
Facts.
Ooh.
That was tough.
Hey, Adam, that boy always shining.
Yeah.
That boy shining. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, baby?
Wow.
Can y'all hear me?
You're in the flesh, bro. I got my answers on. I got my Iverson hoodie. This is the one. No offense to you, bro. This is the one.
He is.
All right, let's pause right here. So Allen Iverson is known to be someone that doesn't mind to shine, let his light show. That's how he was in the league, and he brought a whole different vibe with that. Me personally, I remember times like when I was in high school, everyone was, trying to dress like AI, the headbands and the do-rags. And I would like to also say that I am from Virginia, the 757. And AI is from our way, so a lot of people thought like he was just so dripped out, but for real, that's just how we all do in Virginia. Come see us. But back then, everybody had that type of style, and it was really, really something to see him take that style to the NBA, for real. So kudos to AI. He definitely put Virginia on the map. And I agree with Shaq. He's always shining. So let's check some more out.
You became like a culture icon. Like, we all love Jordan wearing the shoes, but when we seen you had the Concords on, the patent leathers, you know what I'm saying? Like, culturally, I know you start feeling the culture of like, now you got worldwide support. A lot of people are loving the way you play, loving you, your style. How was that to start receiving, even though you going to gyms and you getting that energy, but you receiving love too from a lot of players, especially like the hoods all over?
I don't think the cultural icon started coming into existence until I got into the league. You know what I mean? Once I got into the league, that's when I think.
Like at the draft, you mean? Because like at the draft, I can vividly remember the Reebok commercials, like, you know what I'm saying? At that point, if you was in high school basketball, you knew, you know what I'm saying, your story and what was going on. Plus, I knew Mac Irvin, and I lived up the street from them. I remember them talking about you being on the AU trip when you was about to go to Georgetown. They was like, Bubba Chuck. I'm like, who the fuck is Bubba Chuck? And blah, 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 blah. But like, he about to be the next shit. Then you say your freshman year, you went and killed it. So it's like at this point, we really see and know what's going on. And then when you got to the draft, that Reebok commercial was the shit. The answer, all these questions swirling around at the draft, it's only one. I answered like at that point, it was over.
It was
in
just,
the hood, it was over.
It was just different. It was so different because, first of all, shout out to Reebok. They never wanted to market me no way but me being who I am. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have a problem with different. You know what I mean? Everybody was wearing suits. Everybody, you know what I mean? And like my whole thing, and y'all know this, when we played, I never went to a basketball court, to a park with a suit on to play basketball. You know what I mean? I never, only time I remember wearing a suit is to funerals and church.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and my whole thing was, when I came in, like, I was always comfortable in my skin. Like, I didn't want to wear a suit to a game. You know what I mean? Y'all knew how we was. we going after the game to where we gonna wear a suit?
Nowhere.
We going to the club or something.
Yep.
You know, we on a restaurant going to eat, and then we go out and have fun.
And we wasn't the guys who was gonna walk up in the club in the suits. We know who you are. We aren't them. We weren't them.
No. And I was like, man, and I, you know, I used to dress like the guys from my neighborhood. It was just that I could afford the stuff that we couldn't afford then. I can afford the Jabos and the Pele, you know what I mean? And
straight up.
You know what I'm saying? And the leathers and all of and the Timbs and the stuff that we wore.
The $2 do-rag.
The do-rags with the hat with the hat on the joint, like
the Ava Sweet Fly.
Man, what? You know what I mean? It wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem at first. If y'all remember, it wasn't a problem at first. And then everybody saw that I was doing it, and then there you go. Yeah. You seen Kobe with the chains on and the baggy clothes and whatever. You see everybody. Y'all my homeboys, so you know I saw y'all and then Larry and then, you know, guys on my squad start, you know, like, oh, we don't have to come in with a suit on anymore. And everybody was just, and when I look at it now, I took an ass whooping for it, but it's bittersweet. Because you see guys now, they come in, they got their own style. You know what I mean? They got their own style. They you know, they feel good, man. They going to hoop. They want to feel good what they got on. They want to be fly. You know what I mean? And it's like when you look at that, everybody don't suppose to look the same. Everybody don't play the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just not the same.
It's all the way down to
everybody got their own personality.
It's all the way down to a thing. Like now, it's in every arena. They make sure they're getting the guys walking into the gym to show what they have on and show how they dress.
Yes.
You know, it became a thing now.
Yes. And I took that ass whooping, but, you know, hey, man, I'm
weird,
happy.
Right? I use you and T.O. as big examples, right? Because like you, for us, you took the beating and made it okay for us to do all of this stuff.
So, what are your thoughts on AI? Do you think he was a trailblazer, someone that really opened the door for a lot of the players that we have nowadays that really get to express themselves? As you heard, AI was one of the first to do it, and he really got beat up for doing a lot of what he did, but it really opened the doors, and his peers and other players often recognize AI for being the one that opened the doors for certain trends of the culture. Let's get back to it.
Right? Same thing for kind of T.O., right? T.O. was getting ridiculed. Remember, he said, you don't want to see me celebrate, keep me out the end zone. But now, they celebrate, the guys celebrating and all this is just the same way. Like now, everything you went through, they celebrate us for our, well, not us, but like the players. They celebrate them for their individualism and they, you know, creativeness or whatever they want to call it. But like the stuff that even us, when we came in early, they hated us doing this and partying and all. They thought that was we having fun, bro. We not disrespecting the game. We having fun. We bringing the audience into it and everything. But like now, all of those things are championed and celebrated, and it's like, but we got, like Jerry Sloan used to hate us. Legit. Deshaun Stevenson told us that. Steve was a rookie on that team. He was like, yo, he hates y'all.
And now you see,
man, Sloan was old school.
You see the cats now, like all of these kids, every time they score something, they doing something, their signature.
And when y'all was doing it was a problem.
It was a problem. Like guys used to take
coming
offense
and doing that thing and flexing. And, man, it's crazy. And then you see that the guys look like I had cornrows. Yeah. I had cornrows because I was tired of going on the road and Bob was fucking my hair. Yeah. So I was like, shit, I'll let it grow. And then I always wanted tattoos. Yeah. I just couldn't afford them. So I was overdosing on them. Like I just love tattoos. Yeah. And now you see dudes with all kinds of hair. You know what I mean? They feel good about themselves, man. They want to look like they want to look, man. Yeah. I just think that's dope, you know, because the fans don't have a problem with it. Yeah. So why would the organization or the upper echelon people in the league have a problem with it.
Speaking of that, how you saying how the fans was had no problem with it? I always think about the one video of the one little white kid coming with the tattoos drawn on him, the sleeve and everything. Just like for you, when you saw that, you know, coming from where you come from, we from the hood. We ain't used to that. Like you see a little white kid coming dressed to the nines, exactly like you, showing that you are his idol, his favorite player, and he taking it this far, and his parents allowed it. Like, what did that translate? How did you feel when you saw that?
I actually posted it. I posted it. I just, you know, and I might have said something like trendsetter or something like that, but I just felt like it's all right. It's all right. Okay, I sum it up like this. You will see somebody, and no disrespect to nobody, but somebody be walking down the street and they be dressed like us.
Nervous.
And the person, you know, get scared. The person with a suit on don't even think twice about it. But this can be a actual rich NBA superstar walking by you that you scared of. You know what I mean? Like that perception is just unfair. You know what I mean? You can't judge nobody. You can't judge nobody for how they dress. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Their appearance.
So Shaq's the kind of guy that you don't get jealous often, but sometimes certain people's cool. You wish, like you were saying, sometimes you wish you could drive a Porsche, or sometimes you wish to drive a Lambo. Was there anything of his swag that you were jealous of?
Everything.
Yeah, I figured.
Because
you can't grow cornrows.
I wasn't trying to go on cornrows, but we're from similar places, similar backgrounds. But, you know, when you come in, they throw this word in your face, corporate. And, you know, some people either go here or there. I had to learn how to be in the middle, but, you know, I always rock the chains. But when we saw him and he took all the battles for us, I'm tatted because of you.
Wow.
My whole body is tatted because of you. Because I got one tattoo, went crazy. Went crazy. So after he did it and people just started, you know, accepting it, everything he did.
One in college.
What was your first tattoo?
Bulldog.
The Bulldog, the Georgetown Bulldog.
And then
when
I got to the league,
he went crazy.
Got addictive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was your first tattoo?
The Superman tattoo, and it was real small, right here on the left.
So when he started doing the tattoos, it just like swept through the NBA?
Yes, everybody started doing. He started doing that. And he started, like, you know.
Dennis was first though, Shaq.
No, but Dennis ain't with us.
I know, man.
Dennis ain't with us. Yeah, Dennis over there. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about from the hood, rims, cars, speakers. You know.
And I took ass whipping for it. I took whipping for being myself. That's crazy. You know what I mean?
But you actually taught me how to be myself too.
I mean, everybody else is taking up. Why not be you?
Yeah.
I can't stand when people be just don't love who God created. God created you. That's disrespect for you to want to be something else. I won't doing nothing wrong. I got my braids because I was tired of barbers on the road fucking my hair up.
Pushing your line back like Stephen A. Smith.
I knew you was going there.
Yes, sir, Allen Iverson.
You terrible, man.
Oh, man.
You are terrible.
Stephen A. Smith got his line pushed back so far. No, but
that, like even your mom doing your braids on the bench.
That was my aunt.
That was
Everybody think it was my mom.
But that was iconic.
Hair was coming out.
You know, you didn't see that in the NBA ever.
No, you never saw it.
Man, listen.
As you guys can hear, AI really wanted to be himself. And as he said, if you're not yourself, you're going against what God created. So you got to be yourself, you know, and he really did that. And the league kind of punished him a little bit for being himself. But at the end of the day, the other players benefited from this, as you guys heard. Speaking of benefited from this, Let's take a look at one of AI's peers and see what he says about being able to play with AI.
When you first met AI, he told you this is the motherfucker that was drafted to replace me.
Yeah.
And he immediately embraced you.
Yeah.
Aside from what you learned from him on the court, what's some of the things that AI taught you just on being a pro?
Man, I watched dude fight through so much adversity, man. Like he was a trailblazer, right? He's the first one to do the tattoos. He's the first person to do the cornrows. He's the first person to be a part of hip hop culture. He's the first person, to do the big gaudy jewelry with the diamonds and all of that. Like he's a pop culture icon and a basketball player, bro. So I just watched him take a lot of criticism and go out and go get 30s and 40s and put a team on his back at 6 feet, 175 pounds, dealing with broken bones and injuries, and he gave everything he had every night. Like that put that toughness in me, like, bro, if you can lace up, you're going to play in the game, bro. You're going to go out there and give it your all. And I think that was one of the most valuable lessons that I learned from him just going out there and giving the city of Philadelphia everything he had.
What year was that when you was drafted? What year was he?
Man, 05, so he had to be
7, 8 years?
Probably 9 or 10. I think he was 96, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he's 96. So yeah, probably like year 9, year 10, like his prime.
Yeah.
I was with him in the height. Like, you know how we pull up at hotels, bro, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it might be a handful of fans out there that want an autograph or a picture or something. Mind you, I played with Bean. When you pull up with AI, it's pandemonium out the hotel. But I'm talking about women.
Yeah.
Women, bro. It's unreal. That whole thing when people say like, yo, when y'all get to the hotel, there's groupies in the lobby. I thought that was a real thing because I was with the one rock star that it was. But I've played with a lot of rock stars. That is not the reality.
Like
they not in there. They not there at all. But for him, that was the experience, bro. Real rock star, dog.
And there you go. Another one of AI's peers that said he was a whole movement. He was a pop star. He called him a pop star. And again, I will attest to AI being like that. I remember, again, I'm thinking back in my high school days, all the girls, I love me some AI. They don't even watch basketball, but I love me some AI. That is the type of, atmosphere that AI had created with just him being himself. And since we're on the topic of AI, we got to talk about one of his most epic interviews where he was talking about practice.
But Jim O'Brien, I had a coach. I just thought about it.
Oh yeah, I remember Jim.
Huh?
I remember Jim.
Man, look here, dog.
Defensive specialist.
Listen, man. I'm talking about everything written on paper, like the substitutions, the same. You know what I mean? Anyway. Man, let me tell you what this dude did to me. I was out. He told me, he said, my friend, I had 55 in the game the night before. He called me in his office. He said, my friend said he seen you out at 5 in the morning last night. I'm suspending you for the game in Miami. You can't go to Miami. I'm talking about
He was just trying to keep you from Miami.
I mean, you trying to keep us from winning too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You had a lot of those people, I feel like, in your life.
Yeah.
But let me stick up for him for a second. So, for those who don't know about this thing of ours, there's no set time on when you have to go to bed and how many hours of rest you need. Because I wasn't out, but I'm up. You know, Shane know. I'll text her like I can't go to bed till 5 or 6 a.m. Yeah, and all the times that I did try to go to bed early, I played like
man.
So, it ain't no.
I was out.
Yeah.
So like it ain't no. But I'm saying it ain't no set like you need to do it. No, that's a myth.
Right.
I never go to bed early. Ever since 18 years old, I've never went to bed before 12 o'clock.
Shaq,
ever.
We play at 7 o'clock.
That's what I'm saying. You could take a nap.
Play at 7 o'clock.
I'm saying you could take a nap. That was my thing. Stay out all night, right? Like just 4. Get up at 10, right? So that's 5 hours right there. Go to shoot around, mess around, come back, 2 turkey club fries and a pineapple soda, and then I sleep the 4 hours. That's what I need before the game. Like if I get that 3 hours before the game, no matter what I did the night for, I'm killing somebody. So they always try to make a big deal of him going out, but we was always out on the road.
And it's only basketball, man.
So you guys heard, I know you guys saw my other episode when Kobe was talking about Shaq and his work ethic. You know, as you guys can hear just then, sometimes Shaq was up late, and you guys can hear AI sometimes caught flack for, staying up late nights and stuff like that. So I just wanted to point that out, that I did talk about this. Well, you did hear about it from Kobe, his work ethic. And we're going to get to comparing, Kobe and AI at the end of this. But, two completely different work ethics.
It's only basketball. So you tell me if I'm going to play pickup ball and they play at 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
I'm good. Basketball was fun as hell. I don't care what time the game is. We had, remember back then, what was the ABC games? 12 o'clock?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Those were bad.
And I might not get into 2, 3 in the morning.
Right.
But it's basketball. I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't wait. I mean, I'm going to play harder than anybody. You know, I mean, Russ play hard. I love Russ. He play hard, and he remind me of myself, of just the energy, just a bolt of energy, man. You know what I mean? You owe it. Man, you owe it to the fans. You owe it to your team. You owe it to God for giving you the talent. You know what I mean? Like, I play every game like it was my last.
I see Steph. He's like doing the bands, the workouts and stuff. Did you stretch before games?
Man, I never stretch.
Not one time.
Man,
Oh, man.
listen,
Isn't it funny how much it's
when
changed?
everybody's stretching, that's when I would come in the gym. Cause if we got practice at 9 o'clock, I got there at 8:55.
So thousands of points, none of them came after stretching.
In the words of Will Ferrell and Twin Brothers, did we just become best friends? I did the same.
What do you mean?
Bro, we don't need to practice. Go ahead, do it for me.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
Well, Coach,
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Practice.
We talking about practice, not a game.
So it's no secret that Allen Iverson is one of the GOATs. So I love how Allen Iverson handles the debate when he talks about who's the greatest of all time. Let's check it out.
And not to get into it, but I love LeBron as a basketball player, as everything that he did for basketball. I mean, the man he is off the basketball court, all the things that he accomplished.
We all do. If you don't, you a hater.
You know what I mean? He's it. You know what I mean? And they always putting them together. Like, why it can't be like LeBron is on Mount Rushmore.
Facts.
That's enough.
That's
you know what I mean?
Like by saying that Mike is better than him.
Yeah,
People
it's not no disrespect because you're better than who I am and was as a basketball player. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like for me, just Kobe was just a certified maniac killer. Hey. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about serial killer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about, want to eat your heart. That's who he was every night. I'm taking everything personal every night. You know what I mean? And then his work act and everything about him, man, like as a basketball player, he was just, he's the real, him and Mike are the real definitions of killer.
Okay, let me ask you a question, because this is something I say a lot. And since we here and we talking about this, like I say, it's no disrespect or slight to anybody.
No.
But when everybody be doing this whole GOAT, best ever, I feel like they be tripping when it come to Kobe. Because I feel like if we being honest, I don't know how you want to separate it or position it, but to me, in my opinion, Mike and Kobe, they up at the top in some other little separate room. And they still, like, all of the greatest and all of that is still amongst them, but they get to go sidebar over here and talk about something else that don't nobody else know. Do you agree with me on that? Do you agree with me on that? Like, I'm just the way and I'm not talking about, like, everybody got their stats and everything, right? But we all know as real hoopers that lined it up at the highest level when we went against them people, we know the difference of how people were revered and talked about and responded to when they show up and they are who they are. And in my opinion, I didn't play against all three of them. I done scored on all three of them. They done scored on me.
Yeah.
And them two, Kobe and Mike, is something completely, totally fucking different, bro. I promise. And everybody, like most people that I done had this conversation with, they all agree. If they didn't play the same thing, they didn't play against all three, and they seen all three, and they know Kobe and Mike was different.
And one thing I know, and one thing people gotta know, and one thing I don't respect when it come to people that get upset about the debate.
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
It's opinion.
I mean, man, you're a fan. I mean, if you're a fan of this person, man, and can't nobody tell you that anybody else is better than them, you stick with that. You hold that close and near to your heart. That's how you feel about that player, man. It's nothing wrong with you saying LeBron is the best. It's nothing wrong with you saying Steph is the best that ever played. There's nothing wrong with you, that's your opinion. That's how you feel.
You gotta respect
there's not a right or wrong.
Yeah, you gotta respect.
If you that type of fan, you gotta respect it. People call me the GOAT.
Yeah, and you are to some people. You are one of the GOATs, though.
To some people, yeah. People make an argument for me all the time and say, "What if you was 6'6"?"
It's curtains.
You know what I mean? Like people say that. I'm never gonna say nobody is better than Michael Jordan. I will never say that. But people say all kinds of crazy things. Somebody told me before Michael Jackson couldn't sing. Like, what? And then right then I was like, oh, okay, people tripping. I done heard it all now.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that.
Lou gotta come out with a Kobe tequila.
Lou, so you got to play with AI and Kobe. What kind of similarities did they have, in your opinion, that made them generational talents?
They never thought they was gonna lose at nothing. That's one of the things that I've drawn from both of them. Like arrogant level, never gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I ain't losing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not losing. Like both of them had that arrogance that was needed to be who they turned out to be, the Hall of Famers that they are. You know what I'm saying? They just never felt like there was anybody better than them. And when they faced off, you saw some epic duels. I wish, even though I like that Sixers team, I wish my boy had more star power on the Sixers when they went against the Lakers. That'd have been an epic battle. You know what I'm saying?
As you guys heard right there, AI and Kobe both had that mentality that some can even call them arrogant, but it was necessary to be who they were, Hall of Famers. So as I said at the beginning, always be yourself. In AI's case, being yourself might open doors for others. So always stay true to who you are. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.